First off, we just watched Canelo defeat Miguel Cotto. A lot of people thought he won, but maybe not by the scores we saw. What did you think of the fight?
Yeah, I thought the scores were probably a bit wide. I thought I probably had it, 116, 112, maybe 117, 111. But you could also say 115, 113. Some of the rounds were close, so if you're one way 3 times, and you can have the scores could be wider than what the fight really was. It was a competitive fight, but I thought it wasn't the some people was hoping it'd be like a slugfest, toe-to-toe, action-packed fight. It wasn't that, but it was a very it was a very entertaining boxing match. I thought Miguel moved really well. I think probably that meant Canelo probably couldn't get loads of shots off, and he had to be defensively aware as well. I thought Miguel looked really sharp with his jab at times, but I think Canelo was landing the more concussive hits. He was landing the cleaner shots that carried the more power. And I thought he definitely won the fight. Like I said, I think I had it about 116, 112.
The last, say, 5 rounds or so, Cotto couldn't get away from that uppercut to save his life. He kept stepping into it. What did you think of Canelo's uppercut tonight? I
thought the uppercut was really good. He kind of threw it from quite far out, but was landing. It was almost like a screw shot, like a corkscrew uppercut type thing. But he landed it and threw it really effectively. I thought Canelo's movement was good as well. His head movement, he was slipping and riding a lot of the shots. And Cotto's movement was top class as well. Yeah, I thought both guys fought well. I think it's just I was looking at Cotto at the end. I thought, I wonder where he goes from here. He's had such a good career. I mean, that was a super fight he lost. It's almost like a changing of the guard, and you could see what it meant to Canelo, because you thought, well, why is he so emotional? I know Max Kellerman asked him why is he more emotional this time. I couldn't really hear what he said, but I thought in my head I was thinking, obviously the Mayweather fight was a big super fight for him, and he lost that one. Then he had a few wins since then, but this was like it was like he was making the move again, wasn't he, to go to superstardom, and he put on a good performance and won, so you could see the emotion coming out in him.
Based on that performance, do you think he poses a threat to Triple G?
Maybe not just yet, but he's 25. He's getting better. If he does decide to stay at, if he does move up to 160, I know this fight at 155, but he wants to fight 160. Maybe he'll grow into the weight, and who knows, a year or two down the line. But right now, I don't think anyone really going to give Golovkin too many problems at 160. I just think he's a complete fighter. He's not just a big hitter. You've seen in several of his performances, he's a technically and a tactically very gifted fighter.
What about yourself and Canelo?
Yeah, well, I just won the WBC International 154 title. I boxed okay, didn't box anyone in what I'm capable of, but someone like Canelo, that'd be, of course, they're the sort of fights you want to be involved in.
So the thing with Cotto was, even though he had the middleweight title, he said he wasn't a middleweight. He didn't really look like a middleweight tonight. No. Do you think Canelo is a middleweight? Because now he's the champion. Do you see Canelo fighting at 160 after this fight, or is he still looking to like a junior middleweight?
I mean, this fight was made at 155, and he come in at 155, and he obviously, we went the 12 rounds, and he didn't gas out or anything, so he seems still comfortable at that weight. Who knows? Yeah, he's a very big 154 pounder. He's big enough to fight at 160. I mean, like I said, I fought my last fight at 154, but I've campaigned at 160 for the last 8-9 years. So yeah, and I would say Canelo's a very similar size to me. So yeah, he's definitely big enough to fight 160. But it probably being so big at 154 is a big advantage for him as well, isn't it? So, but he's an elite level fighter, isn't he, Canelo? So he's good enough to step up.
And what is your take of middleweight titles being defended at 155 and imposing these weights? Yeah. Do you feel like Canelo should just go up to 160 if he is going to be a middleweight, or just say I'm not a middleweight?
I do, yeah. I mean, if you're middleweight champion and you fight a middleweight limit, if you're junior middle, fine, good down and fight junior middle, no problem. But it's almost like I don't know. It's always like when Pacquiao fought Cotto at 145. It's almost like it's a big fight. There's a lot of money in the line, so people think, oh, it's only another couple of pounds. But you're crossing the line. It's a fine line, isn't it? A pound or two when it's not there can be the difference. It can take a lot out of you. And I just think that sometimes fighters who are, say, the marquee fighter, so they're generating the money, so they're using it to get an advantage in the fight. So I think if you're going to fight for the middleweight title or the light middle, fight for the limit.